Welcome back to Sims Complete. I'm your host, Matt Sims, alongside Phil Sims. We are post-Super Bowl Sunday. It is Monday, the Monday morning quarterback reaction to the Super Bowl, big guy. And, man, last night, something, man. It really was. That was an impressive showing about the Seattle Seahawks. There's no doubt about it. The physicality of the game, I mean, man, that was very apparent from start to finish in that one. Big guy, hey, what do you think? How about that game last night, man?
Well, I can't wait to watch it again to really figure out what the hell was going on. Okay. So, I'm a little upset about that. That's okay. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
One of my perceptions of the game, as I was watching, I'm going, wow, this game is brutal, and I don't mean, mean the physical part of it.
Right.
And I just kept going, boy, if anybody turns it over, that could be just one turnover could be the difference in this game. But Seattle was like a great boxer. They went in, they sparred a little in the first round. And then the second round, they opened up their repertoire just a little more, and they did a few. And then by the fifth round, they're out there, they're throwing everything in the world out there. And the opponent just can't stop them all with his gloves.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing I kind of think of the game is I thought it was nerve-wracking watching it, though. Did you? Just because neither one could get those first downs where you think the offense is going to get going.
Yeah.
And I look at it this way. New England, I was very disappointed in a lot of things they did. What happens, I think, sometimes you get to watch that film for 2 weeks. You get to practice. We got all the answers.
Right.
We got them. We know who they are. Then you get out on the field, Matt, and after about 10 plays, you go, holy Christ, the film didn't show how friggin' physical they are and how great they are.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I felt almost for the whole game, just that little thought that they thought they were going to man up and fight and punch with them, and they couldn't do that, didn't do it. It's just one of the reasons why they lost.
Yeah, well, I think the defensive side of the football for New England absolutely was ready to go, blow for blow as far as just that heavyweight type of contention, like you were saying. It's really more so, I think, the offense, right? And particularly to just moments of the offensive line and, of course, that having its effect on the quarterback as the game continues to go on. And, I think that's the main story of it, right, of this game is that games are always won and lost in the preparation of games. Games are always won and lost in the trenches of football games. And, that's where for Seattle, their defensive line played phenomenal. Their offensive line had phenomenal moments as well. Both teams absolutely struggled in pass protection, and rightfully so. I think both defensive coordinators and defensive staffs, just the creativity of their fronts, the ability that they can show to mix up the looks, to confuse the offensive line, and to really just cause tremendous havoc. And really just showing no fear either. It just seemed like, all right, hey, they're not going to keep blitz. They're not going to keep being aggressive. And, unfortunately, neither offense really showed the ability to say, hey, get off me. We can show you. We can beat you with this blitz pressure, this and that. And, after that, I mean, once you establish that, both coordinators, I thought, were just like, all right, hey, let's run this pressure one more time because they're really having trouble communicating up front. And that's where now the third story of the game comes into mind for me. So it's the battles won and lost in, of course, preparation, like you said, the trenches, right, that takes place. And now it goes to my third main thing of the difference in the game, in my opinion, outside of Kenneth Walker and the running ability by the Seattle Seahawks, right, is just the fact that Sam Darnold has played more NFL football than Drake Maye. I really just, Sam Darnold, especially too, like when you play on teams that aren't very good, right, or you struggle on offense, he's been in a lot of games like this in his NFL career where they had to scratch and claw to just get a win, right, against a team that was probably better than them. Not saying that the Patriots were better, but just his experience of being able to win scrappy games and to be in those games, I think really was the difference. Drake Maye, I think, had a really hard time just finding ways to settle into the game and to make the 2 or 3 completions to kind of just keep drives going. And, to me, that was pretty glaring and evident as the game continued to go on.
Yeah, you make a great point. I would say if you took those teams and probably reversed the quarterbacks, that still Seattle might have won the game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. What do you call it? Big here, or whatever.
See, I kind of disagree. I think if Sam Darnold's the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots, I think the Patriots win the football game.
Okay, good point. Yeah, I
You know,
probably didn't say that and didn't. So
sorry, I'm just I think that's an interesting thought though
yeah,
that you bring up.
no, it's great. It is great. Drake Maye, through it all, I know he has a shoulder injury. I watch him warm up and all that before the game. He's throwing. You can tell there's not pain there. I don't think. But maybe in a
I
week or
think
so,
so.
we find out. Yeah, but
Yeah.
the whole playoffs, he did play in bad weather. I understand that too. But he just didn't physically throw the ball well. And the other thing is, he did hold on to the football many, many times. And I
Yeah.
know that's why I can't wait to watch the film. Was there a window to throw it? The difference is in the quarterback. A couple things. You already kind of said it. Is that Sam Darnold, when under pressure, was still throwing the ball. I mean, he was making a lot, and a lot of those a couple throws were very close.
Yeah.
Wow, that could have been intercepted, but they weren't. So
Right.
we go talking and judging him out. Well, it could have been. Well, it wasn't. Let's I hear that and I think, oh, here we go. But yeah, just think of his touchdown throw to the tight end, Barner in the right corner, blitz. Two free runners coming at him, and he still, what did he do? He faded back, threw it over the top for the touchdown. So that was big time because that really, when that pass happened, I went, Seattle's definitely going to win now.
Yeah.
So those are, and the other thing too, Matt, the pressure by Seattle. And I can't, like I said, I can't wait to really find it out. But Will Campbell, the left tackle, is a big problem.
Yeah.
And just me, and I didn't do numbers, I don't know anything like that, but they did not help him enough.
No,
Will
I agree.
Campbell is going to be a guard next year. Most people before the draft said he probably is a guard because he's just not physically big enough.
Yeah.
And then when they did help, which I can't imagine all the thinking and the brain trust of Seattle, because man, they do a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
They go over there and get them over there. Let's protect. And then all of a sudden, we got two blitzers coming from the other side, and you can't handle that. So, saying that, why I'm saying it, the coaching is a big deal. And Seattle's defense, physically, okay, that's one thing. But mentally, they won the war against New England's offense. I thought they won it big time, too.
Yeah.
So,
Agree. I think, one, and I think this also speaks to maybe Drake Maye's inexperience at the position as well.
Sure.
Where as the game continues to wear on, and you could see that Seattle wasn't going to back down from some of their blitz packages that they were running, maybe a more experienced quarterback that's seen a little bit more, right, would have taken the game into his hands a little bit more. I couldn't help but think, the style of game that we saw last night, I was like, oh, this is an Aaron Rodgers game at its finest right here. Aaron would have been at the line of scrimmage. He would have been moving his protection. He would have thrown a quick little slant, been like, okay, next play, moving on, right? So, that's where I feel like for Drake, just, hey, seeing the game a little bit more, being able to say, you know what, I know it doesn't look like pressure here coming from the field because Devin Witherspoon is off the ball. He's not at the line of scrimmage, but my instincts tell me that they're still going to send pressure. I'm going to send the protection over there.
Right.
And, there's example, I think of that, right, where he's going to learn a lot about football himself and just how to manage situations from this experience. And unfortunately for him, he has to learn it losing the Super Bowl. But, I couldn't help but have that thought during this game of just like, this is an Aaron Rodgers type of football game right here, where it's just like he would have been at the line of scrimmage, waiting, doing some fake dummy counts, show the look. That's one thing that I would say Drake also missed out on, right? Is just using his snap count as a weapon to kind of get some sort of an idea of what was taking place before the snap, especially in those obvious passing situations. But of course, just this is where the human element comes into play. You could definitely feel that there were moments where he felt a little overwhelmed. He looked a little overwhelmed and unsettled in the game.
Yeah, he did.
And the speed of Seattle is really just, it's real. It's legit. And not only the speed, but it's the physicality on top of that.
Oh,
and,
man.
Yeah, go ahead, big guy.
No, you're man. I just want to say, oh man, yeah, they are fast. And well, let's see. I'm going to say around June this coming year, they're in mini camp or whatever. The New England Patriots, Drake Maye is going to go, wow, if I knew this.
Yeah.
He's a damn rookie playing in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah. So, in other words, he's going to be just what you said, Matt. He's going to see somebody in coverage, but he can see their eyes. They're looking in the backfield because, oh, he's going to blitz. I mean, it's amazing all the little things that are there that he's just not ready to take them and put them into his bank account and use them in games.
That's right.
But that's a great one. The experience, the playoff experience, being mad as hell and all those other things, that's going to help him out a lot. The other thing too is
clearly the playoff run wasn't weather, right? Clearly, because everyone's like, oh, well, it was rainy here, it was snowy here. It was like, the truth is that just the Patriots offense was just, it was a solid unit. And this was a little bit of kind of why I was like, no, Drake Maye is not the MVP, because like there was never a moment where I thought that the New England Patriots offense or Drake Maye was just this unstoppable force and that they were just like leading the league as far as what they did offensively. So that seemed to be a trend. That wasn't like, oh, it's the weather. It's like, no, they played good defenses. The defenses were good. They held them to minimal points and explosive plays. And that continued to show up no matter what the weather was. And they just really didn't have an opportunity to kind of grit one out here in the Super Bowl like they did the others.
Yeah. And, too, I just didn't think the game management, they didn't stay with the run.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Won't worry about everything else. It's, it's a game that's going to be won and lost in the second half or whatever, how you think. But apparently they were thinking very aggressive.
Yeah.
And didn't give enough respect to that Seattle defense in the areas of where we got to protect. And you know this, you said in many meetings and with the whole offense in there and the offensive coordinator or the head coach gets up and goes, men, this is it. It's about one thing. What is that, coach? Pass protection.
Yeah.
We got to make sure no matter what we do, we protect the quarterback here to have a chance.
Yeah.
So they didn't do that as well as you would want. And the other thing is too, I thought New England, they're going to fix the left tackle situation. That'll be, I think, pretty easy for them and all that. But the receiving core, it did not have its best night. I was trying to watch the TV and seeing guys crossing and whatever and all that. It's hard to do. But I could tell Drake Maye, he's thinking one or two's open, and then he looks and he goes, they're covered, and now you freeze. And now, what do I do? And what's the next guy? He's not a quarterback that's going to go 1, 2, 3 like it's really easy. Again, the rookie thing is real. So,
yeah,
I thought they struggled against Seattle's defensive backs. And just hearing people after the game, I heard Rex Ryan this morning. I wish I could repeat what he said, Matt, because he's probably sitting at home eating ice cream, going, "God, this is great.
Yeah,
I love it." He would have loved it if it was 3-0. And I understand that. But
me too.
He was talking about the defense, and it was really some complicated stuff. But when he got done, I went, wow, that was really well said. And I kind of understand a little. Maybe I'll understand it more as I get the chance to, like we say, just to watch the game again and see things that you don't see the first time.
So what did Rex Ryan actually say, though? Just that the Seattle was –
he goes, they play a certain zone that very few teams in the league, and can they do this? Can they just coaching talk. Like I said, it was kind of, I'm listening going, oh, if I could watch it again, I'd listen to every word, write some of that down and all that. Yeah. But, he probably sees, well, not probably. I mean, he's watching the game strictly from the defensive side. And I got to be honest, most of the time I'm watching it from the offensive side. So, but it was, the defense is clever. They coach them big time. They coach them up or whatever. You don't see them make big mistakes. You don't see guys running uncovered. They seem to find a free runner to the quarterback whenever they think they need it. So the scheme and the coaching in Seattle, everybody's going to study it, and I'm sure they already have, and say, let's try to do some of the stuff they're doing because it's working out well.
Yeah, that's a great
thing is getting the talent, Matt. Sorry.
No, that's exactly where I was going, big guy. It's like that's a cute idea, and then it's like, well, do you have a Devon Witherspoon? Do you have a Kobe Bryant? Do you have a Reek Woolen? Do you have a Derek Hall, a Julian Love, a Nick Manwari, right? Ernest Jones,
DeMarcus Lawrence.
DeMarcus Lawrence. Oh yeah. How
Oh,
about Jaron Reed? How about
yeah.
Riley Mills?
Yeah.
Right. So that's where it's just like, how about Nwosu? Right. So,
Yeah.
And even like the Nwosu play, I mean, I saw the one where Campbell jumped off sides, right? Had a false start, and they still were kind of playing the play, and Nwosu just absolutely pancaked him and put him on his ass. Now the play was ruled dead, but that was just like a small example of basically kind of what was taking place the entire time. I mean, Byron Murphy.
Oh,
For an example, they had a 3rd and 1. And they kind of ran like inside duo, right? Which is like basically trying to double up the two guys in the interior part. And Byron Murphy just absolutely stoned every single person that tried to push him, and then made the tackle at the line of scrimmage in nickel, right? So they only had 4 down linemen and 2 backers on the field, and they still held them short on a 3rd and 1 situation in the Super Bowl. So that just tells you their ability, their physicality, their size, and just their unbelievable ability to bring tacklers down. It just seems like when the first guy gets there, you didn't see many New England Patriots guys break the tackle, right? And that's where, it just goes to the fundamentals of coaching and what Coach McDonald has done. I said it all week leading up to the Super Bowl. I'm like, Mike McDonald is the Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay's of the world of the defensive side of the football. And I was like, I think that's the biggest difference. I thought Josh McDaniels would be able to kind of counter it a little bit. And from my eye watching the game, it did seem like there were a few opportunities for the New England Patriots offense to have.
Right. There was.
That being said, it's hard to kind of look past that because of all the other plays that kind of led up to those moments where it's like, yeah, it's hard for the quarterback to all of a sudden just find his rhythm after getting his ass kicked, on 70% of the plays. But you made the best point, I think, right? And the key to this game. New England just could not get anything going, or where they were not patient enough with the running attack the way that they would. And that's where I thought on that 1 4th down, where the personal protector on the punt team kind of went to the line of scrimmage, I thought Vrabel was going to go with the Bill Parcells, hey, let's line up and maybe fake the punt or see what they do, make them call a timeout. And I feel like they had that in their game plan. They just didn't call it. Just by the way that he was acting, it seemed like he was kind of playing into that a little bit. But again, just not enough opportunities for the New England Patriots offense or their offensive line in that particular to just like tee off, hit them, wear them out, and keep drives going. It was just hard work every single play for this offense.
Well, one thing, a couple here.
Yeah.
I'm watching a pregame show.
Right.
And I see Kyle Shanahan on there.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, he played him 3 times or whatever. He goes, listen, if it's about running the ball, if you don't run the football against them, they're going to play their stay back, read you, safeties back. And he goes, you'll get blown out if that happens.
Yeah.
There's a chance that Seattle could blow them out because you have to keep, me and you, we've already said it. I don't agree that I just think they should have stayed with the game plan. Maybe, I don't know what they were thinking, and just run it and play a daring game.
Right.
We're comfortable playing 3-3, 6-0, whatever it is. And it really, in my mind, you know what came into my mind? And I'm looking and watching to see if New England was trying to shorten the game.
Right.
I would think, Matt, and everybody, I didn't hear anybody say it any other way, is that Seattle was the better team physically.
I mean, there's no doubt about that, right? I mean, you could tell after 2 drives, right, that like, okay, Seattle is clearly that much better on both sides of the football.
But everybody in the media and all that, which I respect, and everybody said that they're clearly a better football team.
Right.
I mean, just think about the quarterback. There's Drake Maye, and I'm not comparing him to Bradford. And what did he do the week before, 2 weeks before, whenever they played? He threw the ball all over the place against the Seattle defense.
Mm-hmm.
And,
You mean Stafford?
Stafford, what did I say?
Yeah.
Bradford? Yeah, I
Bradford.
hear a lot.
Yeah. Hasn't been in the league in 5 years, but yeah.
Yeah, Stafford did a lot of great throws,
Yeah.
but they never got him out of the fact that they were playing what they wanted to play on defense, Seattle, and New England could never get them out of that to get a chance for more downfield throws, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
When Kyle Shanahan said that, I went, man, he's talking about getting blown out.
Right.
But as the game was going on, I did think about that. I thought about that, and I thought about the game in the Super Bowl playing the Buffalo Bills, the Giants. I knew this was going to be the game plan. We're going to run it, and we're going to shorten this game.
Yeah.
And take your time, call on the whatever. And, of course, it worked great for them. And it crossed my mind during the week that maybe New England would think that way. But apparently they said, no, we can match up with these guys and play them just you against us. Here we go. And yeah. So Seattle, we got to talk about this guy. I'm going to change it just a little. Kenneth Walker, as he was running, we had quite a few people here watching the game.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about, God almighty, look at his legs.
Yeah.
And he's Earl Campbell, almost. Not quite Earl Campbell, leg wise.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's pretty damn big. I mean, and his running style, it intrigued me many weeks ago as I really watched him probably for the first time seriously. And his ability to go, here we go. I go outside, he can go sideways about as well as I've seen any player. And then once he goes sideways, he has, I don't want to call it sneaky speed. He has speed. Then he outruns the guy that has the leverage on him. So he deserved to be the MVP. Boy, after the game, was he humble and everything. All the Seattle Seahawks players were. But Kenneth Walker, he was definitely showed everybody he's a star running back in the NFL.
Yeah, it was great. Kenneth Walker, like you mentioned, I think the most impressive thing is one, he got enough reps to where as the game continued to go on, you could see that every time he was getting his touches, more and more confident, playing slower, picking his, okay, there it is, go, right? So that was cool. He got into a great rhythm. Clint Kubiak got him into a fantastic rhythm to feel confident. And you mentioned it.
God.
The biggest difference, I think, in the game is even when New England had him dead to rights in the backfield, he was still able to redirect and outrun the guys to the sideline.
Yeah.
And that'll be something that New England will obviously kind of learn from if they do really review this film of just we had the interior set up. We won against the center. We won against the guard, but we gave up the edge. Our edge guy was not there to keep him contained so the rest of the party could get there. So it's a credit to his talent, his ability, his vision. It's also a little bit of just good job by the edge blockers on Seattle to have a hat on a hat and allow him that ability to outrun those guys in the interior part of the defense. And then, of course, on top of that, the other legs were Sam Darnold's.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold was the one that was making people miss where it was obvious sacks. There was only, I want to say, 6 quarterback hits on Sam Darnold. He probably avoided about 8.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the difference, right? Whereas Drake Maye got 11 quarterback hits. He was sacked. I want to say, what was the official number? 6 total? Yeah. He got sacked 6 times. Right. So that was the difference, right? Where, Sam Darnold evading some of those pressures, not taking big sacks, not getting big hits, doing a good job moving to the pocket, used his legs and scrambled. And in the past, we had seen Drake Maye do that, and he wasn't able to do that. And then, so, hey, it's the legs of Kenneth Walker. It's the legs of Sam Darnold, and then it's the legs of Jason Myers, right? I mean, there was moments, right, where I was like, man, Jason Myers might be the MVP of the damn game. You know, I mean, he's 5 for 5, and he's the difference in the game right now. His clutch kicking, even though some of them were quote unquote chip shots for professional kickers nowadays.
I want to go back to what you said here because I have thought about it many times. I haven't said it in years, but you're right. The runs as they piled up by Seattle.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker got better because he had this great feel for what I'm doing now. It's like the quarterback. Don't expect the quarterback to be great if you give him 8 throws a game. Give him 20 so he can get whatever. And that even though with all the carries, you might lose a little bit of speed maybe because fatigue has to set in a little bit.
Right.
Your feel for the game And reading blocks just becomes better because the more you see it, the bigger it gets.
That's right.
And so boy, it's kind of like and most teams, and they do it. Charbonnet, of course, if he was healthy, they'd have probably split all the reps.
Yeah.
Do you get a great feel when you know you're going in the game for maybe 2 carries and I'm coming out?
That's right.
But
yeah, go ahead.
But if you run the guy like we saw in the Super Bowl every week, well, he won't be ready for you too long.
Right.
It's punishment, wear and tear. But man, you said it right. And I was thinking of it as you were talking. The confidence you get and reading the blocks and just the overall feel for the game was. I mean, how many times did you go? Oh wow, what a good just really simple move outside, 8 more yards. Oh, you said it. The guy had a leverage, to get there. Nope, didn't do it.
Yeah.
Pass. Really good stuff. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, absolutely. No, I mean, it's fantastic. It really is. And I think just, even Helani, right, had 2 carries. One of them was a first down conversion. And then the other one, too, of course, the big catch on, like, I want to say a second or a first down check down, and he slipped through some tacklers and made it to where it was 2nd or 3rd and 1. So it's like just even small plays like that, you get overlooked, but it's like that set up that much more of an easy field goal for Jason Myers to take advantage of. AJ Barner came up clutch for them offensively. Great play design by Clint Kubiak too. Clint Kubiak, which was, so we discussed this leading up to the game, right? Big guy, that some of these coaches, they'll bring back plays from so-and-so years away, all that. Clint Kubiak hit, the New England Patriots with like a Josh McDaniels special. How many times have we seen Tom Brady with the long outside zone fake, sell it, and then all of a sudden, there's Gronk down the right sideline by himself because they're trying to stop the run. Very Tom Brady, Gronk-like touchdown there by Sam Darnold and AJ Barner in that play where they're selling that wide zone. And I think that was what 2 of those things. I mean, that setup was fantastic. A great play, good throw by Darnold as well, like you mentioned earlier, to kind of fade and throw it nice and soft for Barner to catch it. But Clint Kubiak's ability to call a lot of the runs interior, right? You could see that they wanted to get some outside runs going, but New England, I thought, did a great job of stringing those out and making plays. This is where I thought we saw like guys like Craig Wilson, like he was all over those plays. I mean, he was in the backfield getting tackles for loss, it seemed like, every time they went outside. And on the flip side of that, I thought that's where New England missed out. They tried to run in the interior. Byron Murphy, Leonard Williams, Reed absolutely crushed it. And I think when you go back and watch the film, big guy, I think that'll be the biggest thing that Josh McDaniels takes away, is like, probably should have attacked the outside a little bit more. Should have attacked guys like Nwosu. Should have attacked guys like DeMarcus Lawrence, especially because they were sending those nickel blitzes into the interior part of the offensive line.
Right.
They probably could have circled around, the wagon a few more times than they did. And I'm just kind of curious what your thoughts are on that. But I just thought that was maybe one thing that they could have been maybe a little bit more patient with, still attacking the outside, maybe wear out Seattle's defense. It's wishful thinking, but that's definitely something I thought we got a little too pass happy with Drake Maye a little too early in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, just think of the game as the ball is handed off to Kenneth Walker, and it was almost, somebody said it, Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Not stopping, but close, and then reading it, and then boom, boom, goes.
Yeah.
And it was, every one of those plays was what? It was basically between the center guard gap.
Right.
The initial starting point. So, man, having the running back can do it. The offensive line can do it. And really, man, that's a great point. New England was, outside runs did nothing. And it was almost like, man, why are you doing that? It's not going to work. But, it's really interesting. What else? Seattle, it's a good thing they stayed with the run, because they couldn't have sit there. And I said it kind of earlier. The coaches couldn't go, man, our receivers are getting wide open.
No,
and they were not.
No.
And Gonzalez for the New England Patriots, he is big time. What year is this for him? Is probably his 3rd or?
Yeah, that's a good question. I want to say it's his 3rd or 4th, maybe. 3rd, I believe. Yes.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, he was this close to.
Yeah.
To kind of wrecking the game at times. And you're right. I mean, he was so impressive. I really, New England's defense in general, played some really good football.
No doubt.
And I think it's more so just like, wow, Kenneth Walker was that awesome, was setting up blocks. Because even when they did win, he was still getting some yards in critical situations. But, I thought New England's defense was super impressive. And I think that that's the one difference you could see maybe between the great New England defense versus the Seattle defense, right?
Right.
New England doesn't quite have enough of those twitchy outside guys like Seattle did. Because I feel like Seattle had the combination of power, and of course they use their nickels as well as kind of like those speed rushers.
Well, that's what they do.
Right. But it's just like, DeMarcus Lawrence, Nwosu. I mean, I thought that they were just like their ability to kind of redirect and play with speed on top of the power that they had in the interior part was a huge difference compared to New England. As the game continued to wear on, of course, because they were patient with the running attack. Yeah, guys like Williams and Barmore and all of them, their ability to pass rush diminishes because of their style of play, right?
Yep.
Because it takes away from their power and their stamina to get after the passer.
Yeah. Wow. When the game is over for the losers, it's always, I wish I had done this. You're just going to second guess everything that you do as a player, and you're going to second guess everything about the practice for 2 weeks, the coaches, the design of new stuff, the old stuff, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Bill Cowher always used to tell me, if I'm in the playoffs, if I have to pick a place where I want to lose in the championship game. I said, wow, really? You don't want to go to the Super Bowl? He goes, no, because when you lose that Super Bowl, you never get rid of it.
That's true. Yeah.
He said it many times to me too.
Right.
So he must have experienced it exactly that way.
Right.
They went to the Super Bowl and lose, it's the narrative of who you are changes, and rightly so. No, guys, I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, Drake Maye, he was so bad. It's this and that. No, it's not like he had great help on the offensive side.
No.
His guys were blowing by anybody. It wasn't like he had all day to throw the ball. No.
He did actually have a lot of time to throw the football on some occasions. So that's
where couldn't have anybody open.
Well, I did think about this too, right? And I did think about, if Sam Darnold played the way that Drake Maye played, could never recover. Oh, yeah. Right. That would be another ghost hanging over his shoulder. But because Drake Maye has already been crowned and he's the golden child of the NFL, there we are at the end of the cast. Like, he'll be fine. Everything's okay. And it's like, I get that, and listen, I'm not going to crush Drake Maye, but Drake Maye, well, I'll just put it politely. He did okay. He did not play well. He did not.
No, he didn't. Last thing I want to say about Drake Maye is that when you do watch him play, and it's all tons of great stuff, and they did a wonderful job with him all year long. Yeah. But he's got to learn to play with a little more rhythm. I know it just drop one, boom, boom, and go. And, he has that, it's like he looks at one guy and it's almost, if it's not a check down, it's almost like a little freeze. But, in the NFL, a half a second is an hour.
Yeah.
So, but just the rhythm, do more rhythm throwing. And, I know they tried yesterday too, to keep him involved in the game, get some completions. Well, we didn't see that until really the game was over. And Seattle, I'm going to give them tons of credit. They just weren't going to let him have easy throws.
Yeah.
But, second-year quarterback, Super Bowl, who was it? Dan Marino was the guy, second year, right? He went. Didn't work out for him against Joe Montana in San Francisco. And who knows? You may never get back. But,
yeah,
it's still a great experience for Drake Maye for the playoffs and the regular season.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you learn a lot about yourself and, of course, your team and just what it takes to win a Super Bowl, of course, and just how difficult it is. And that's on the unfortunate part of the game, right? This wishful thinking. He's a young quarterback. He's super talented. They got a great coaching staff and a lot of good football players on their team. But this whole they'll be back. It's like you just never know. So
you never know.
And that's what's frustrating about the game. And yeah, I'm sad for Drake Maye. And at the same time, just like, the game overwhelmed him, really did. At times I thought Drake Maye was almost like CJ Stroud and how he felt, right? in the playoffs. There was just times where I just could tell he wasn't even in his body, so to speak. You know, it was all this. And, you know, of course, the one big one was probably the deep cross that he missed. He kind of stepped up in the pocket and he kind of short hopped a deep cross that really would have been one of those plays where, who knows, it would have shooken him out of his thing, right? And I kept saying to my wife, I'm like, he just needs like one play to kind of shake the cobwebs loose a little bit and kind of feel good about the game. I thought that scramble up the middle might have done it.
Yeah, it was big.
You know, and but it's amazing how just every time that he had a confident play, it just didn't seem to wipe it all clean. You know, it still was like lingering. And even that last interception, you know, I said to her, I was just like, yeah, like he's kind of been waiting the whole game for that. You know, he really was. He was kind of like just unsure of what he was seeing and how to trust what he saw and to play confidently. And you know, that's the unfortunate part of the NFL and just the high level play that was on the field, you know, and that's just, again, another credit to Seattle's defense to make him feel that way. And also to me was confirmation that, yes, Matt Stafford is the MVP of the league. It really was not that close of a vote. The fact that it was that close of a just shows you that not enough people were really paying attention to how good Stafford was playing. Because Stafford was making some high-level throws against the Seattle Seahawks over and over and over again. And, you know, just unbelievable how good the Seattle Seahawks defense is. All right, big guy, any last thoughts before we wrap up?
No. Just go off the last little comment you made. You know, the one thing that I think young quarterbacks made all year around the league, you know, there's so many deep crossers now where you're going across the field and you're gaining yards. And I see so many times that Drake Maye did it yesterday. He threw at the receiver instead of leading them way out across the field where they got the defender behind them and the defender can do nothing if you do that. Instead of trying to throw a line drive at them, or it was a route that I just saw tons of missed throws on it because it's kind of new. Everybody's doing it now, but, you know, it's kind of new to coordinators and I think especially young quarterbacks. But overall, what a year for Seattle. They play in the damn dark. We don't pay attention to them till late in the year. And all of a sudden we go, you know, this Darnold guy is pretty good.
Yeah.
For what? Yeah, we know what. He's a Super Bowl champion. That's what he is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I heard I would call him out too because I watched too much. But just one person said, you know, Sam Darnold, you know, well, they won. You know, he was going to bash him because he missed a couple of throws.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
you know what, that person's not even worth talking about because they're an idiot.
No,
so let's just keep moving on. Yeah, that's right.
Well,
they can kiss his ass because he's a Super Bowl champion. So that's what's great about the game.
And he handles himself. Oh my gosh, I do believe he wasn't worried about it. You know, all this, and somebody said when the Seattle locker room when the game was over, they were all in there. They were calm and good game. There wasn't no jumping and crazy stuff. At least that's what somebody said. Maybe
that's what we saw, right? In the end of the game. I mean, it just, you know, that was another game for them. That's, you know, I said, you know, to my wife as we were watching the game, I was just like, you know, it's funny, like we don't quite have that overpowering presence that's on, you know, the podium with Roger, right? You're just like, man, they're all about ball nonstop. That's it.
Yep. All right.
All right. Hey. I'm Matt Sims. He's Phil Sims. This is Sims Complete on the Believe Sports Network, brought to you by FanDuel. We'll be back with more action as we dissect a little bit more of this NFL film and Super Bowl Sunday, and we'll be back soon. Get ready for the draft now.